thank you to BetterHelp for sponsoring today's episode. Invade my cave with your special unit. Welcome to Guilty Pleasures.
Yeah.
Such good line.
We're never gonna stop, never stop.
Never
at all.
stopping.
Never stop, never stopping. Today we're talking about the Lonely Island pop star.
Wow.
Never stop, never stopping.
So good.
What year was it?
I don't know.
Oh.
This was like 2015, 16.
Why don't we guess?
15.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess 15.
That's what people like to hear. They like us to guess our way through
You're right,
episodes.
you're right.
On my
That's
podcast,
fair.
we have a button on the soundboard that says, don't Google it. So anytime we say something that we don't know.
we
just-
do that.
We
Yeah.
hit that don't Google it button.
I'm
Yeah.
excited to talk about this. This is one of the underrated comedy gems of,
Oh, yeah.
of the 2010s.
Oh, yeah.
It also is our opportunity to talk about The Lonely Island, who I think
Yeah.
all their movies are just
Are
underrated
great.
comedy gems.
We haven't done them, huh?
No.
It's our opportunity to just kick it,
Yeah.
boogie, chill.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
How are you? Zach, how are you feeling?
Yeah, how are you? You just got off of a honeymoon in like 7 different time zones.
Yeah.
And
9 hours different.
9
Wow.
hours different.
Yeah.
How are you? How
Tough.
are you?
You know, I'll say that the thing they don't tell you about taking a magical, wonderful, relationship nourishing 2-week trip, crossing off items of your bucket list,
Yeah.
is that when you get back,
Everything else just feels like ass.
Everything sucks. You're supposed to spread out the bucket list throughout your life so that when you do all of them at once and then you come back to your life,
You
you're
don't
like,
want to die.
You don't want to die. You don't want to finish.
You still have more to live for.
it's
Yeah.
honestly not even that coming back is life is less good. I do love work and I love being home, but there's just so many things piled up. It was
Yeah.
just accordion effect. So now I'm like trying to make up for 2 weeks at once, and I'm getting there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you tie?
Yes.
So is it nighttime for you right now?
No. The jet lag's gone. It's just the
Stress of life.
yeah.
Sick.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Sick. How are you, Rick?
I'm all right.
Rick
I'm
had
okay.
a B-day.
I had a B-day.
recently.
Yep.
Actually, we all
Yeah.
had B-days
Yeah. Around
within
Are we all-
around the same time.
Are we all Leos?
Virgo over here.
yeah.
That's so
almost.
close.
Just missed out.
You think that would have been a way bigger point of topic in
Yeah,
like
I
our
would've
lives
done.
if we
Yeah.
were all Leo?
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Garrick's
You're
kind of
not
our
very
calming
Leo.
energy.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that
You're
I
kind of
don't-
chaotic.
Mm,
People think Scorpios are the devil. No offense, I think Virgos are actually.
I've been hearing this like aggressively throughout my entire not my entire life. The past 10 years, I want to say.
Y'all
like
scare
Virgos
me.
are like bad people.
Not bad people, just like
Like
Don't fuck with a
blunt.
Virgo.
you don't fuck with a Virgo.
I think Scorpios, from what I don't understand, are more obvious with their revenge.
Virgos are more.
They get in your head. So
Yeah.
all I know is that Joyce said, Beyonce aside, still fuck Virgos. And that is like, oh,
That's saying
wow.
something, yeah.
That's how like even Beyonce can't uplift the
Yeah.
entire
Right.
astrological
But you're
sign.
cuspy, right? You're. No, you're not.
No.
You're like a week after.
Yeah, on the 5th. So
You're you're just getting off of a cusp.
Yeah.
So we'll you in
based
there.
off of what Sequoia has told me,
Yeah.
too many of my placements are in Leo. So that's-
actually, I'd like to see your chart.
yeah.
Do you have CoStar? Haven't I made you download it?
I don't have CoStar.
100 times.
You have asked me to download it. I have refused to every
Okay.
time.
I'll just plug you in on my
yeah.
personal
I don't.
charts.
I don't know what any of it means, but yeah, I guess that is bad.
Yeah. Rick also got a cold plunge.
I did. Yeah, I got a cold
Huge.
plunge. It's life changing.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
Telling y'all,
It's great. It's a good time.
get in
It's-
cold water.
Get in cold water.
Maybe that's
Make
what
it
you
as
need
cold
to
as
do.
possible. It will probably, I don't know, heal all
Yeah.
of your wounds. Maybe your childhood
Emotionally
traumas.
and physically. Wow.
I think you
yeah.
need to get in some cold water.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to put some cold water on this conversation and move us right along.
Right along.
This is also catching up. We just haven't
Uh-huh.
seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
Pop star never stopped, never stopping.
Bop.
Andy Samberg, Jorma Taccone, Akiva Schaffer, The Lonely Island. This is not their first movie, but their first film, all three of them together.
Yeah.
It stars Andy Samberg as, Connor for real.
Yeah.
Thank you. It stars Andy Samberg as Connor for real, a Justin Bieber-inspired pop star, but also an allegory for The Lonely Island itself. You have the three of them that used to be part of the Style Boys, a a hip-hop mega group who, as you see through Talking Heads, inspired everyone from Nas to The Roots to Usher to you name it.
They're my real Israel.
God, so good.
Are my motherfucking.
But, Connor becomes a megastar. His, like Justin Timberlake leaving NSYNC, his star burned so bright, it's not his fault he was the most famous and most popular, which causes a schism in the group as Connor becomes the biggest superstar on the planet, and the only thing bigger than his star is his ego.
Wow.
When launching his second album, Connor faces being critically pandered and needs to find his way back to being a good person and maybe a good friend. This is Pop Star, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
Fantastic. Good job. That
Great
was pretty
job.
good for being
He's
jet
back.
lagged and tie-tie.
Yeah, like I'm
back.
fresh.
Yeah.
I want to start, before we even talk about the movie, The Lonely Island.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm a huge Lonely Island fan, and honestly, I've never really talked about it.
I clocked that.
It's
obvious.
Fits.
Yeah.
I've loved Lonely Island since before they were on SNL.
Wow.
Whoa. How is
So-
that a thing?
They were, I don't know if they were discovered or auditioned to SNL because of the strength of their digital work. If you go back, God, probably 15 to close to 20 years ago now,
Jesus.
they were making digital shorts
Pain.
online.
Wow.
And so they had a website, but I knew them most through Channel 101, which was Dan Harmon's online collective. And so the way Channel 101 worked is that every month there'd be a screening here in LA that I never got to go to. I wish I could. But there'd be shows. They had to be under 5 minutes long, and it would be pilots or returning shows. And then it was supposed to be democratic television, where every month they would do the screening, and either your show got picked up for another week or it got canceled and you weren't allowed to make it anymore.
Damn.
If you missed a month, you're canceled. If your show is over 5 minutes, you're self-canceled.
Wow.
And so you got incredible talent, people who were having trouble selling shows out here in LA, making incredible stuff. I think I've talked about this when we did the Monster House episode, because Rob Schrab was a Channel 101. Dan Harmon made tons of Channel 101 shows, including, I'm blanking on the name, but he made a show starring Jack Black that it was like Fart Man or something. It was about a guy that like is in a radioactive nuclear something and then rides a motorcycle and farts. I forget.
I
They're
just
all
feel
really
like
silly.
I'm hearing this for the first time, this Channel 101 business.
Yeah.
And it makes me feel very lame. Like I feel like I'm
You
I
missed
didn't-
out on a
yeah,
cool
like I
thing.
didn't jump into this parallel reality
Yeah.
until after Channel 101.
Yeah, it was very much like a weird underground. Like if you
That's
ever
cool.
were
It had its
one of
own
the-
Flash player that you watched.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was sick. That was once I started stand up, I was like, oh, this is how you like. This is the next step into like television writing is getting something on Channel 101.
It just seems
So when you were out
cool.
here,
Yeah. But by the time it like started to get, by the time I started, it had started to lose steam a little bit.
So are Lonely Island guys LA based?
I don't.
New York based,
But they got in through
Well, they met in
101?
Sacramento. That's where the three of them were friends growing up. But I want to tell you, because I just have some of the notable shows from Channel 101 lore. So there was Yacht Rock, which was a mockumentary. And a lot of the people that worked on Channel 101 shows would either go on to work on Community or work on Rick and Morty. A lot of them are in that. So honestly, do you know like J.D. Risner or... Okay, I'm not going to play that game. You have, Laser Fart was the Jack Black show that I was thinking of. And of course, you had The Boo, which was one of my absolute favorites, which introduced me to The Lonely Island. The Boo, parenthesis BU, was a spoof of the OC that took place in Malibu. And so the first episode starred, actually, Andy Samberg was barely in it. He was in the like montage in the beginning as the jock, but it starred Yorma. He was the star of that. And you had Sarah Chalke from Scrubs.
Nice.
And the first episode wasn't even a soap opera spoof. It was a spoof on 3D glasses. And so it had Frazzles, the Channel 101 squirrel, and said, I'll tell you when to put on your 3D glasses. And so you have what follows is this really melodramatic scene between Sarah Chalke and Yorma Taccone.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, I haven't seen you in a long time. Hey. And then throughout the episode, Frazzles would come in and go, whoop, glasses on. And then the two of them would have to be like, ugh, there's something between us. A spark, and they would hold up the lighter to the camera and do fake 3D. So it's just a bit on that.
Yeah.
But people loved it so much that they got renewed, and they got renewed again and renewed again. They created this real stupid ongoing soap opera where like Yorma used to be a ninja, or I honestly don't even remember them. It was fairly unnotable the rest of the episodes. It was almost like they were so talented that everyone was demanding that they continue against, like, they're like, this wasn't supposed to
Keep going.
be a thing.
Yeah.
Until episode 8,
Uh-oh.
when they could not make an episode and instead decided to make a music video called We Didn't Do the Boo This Month. This is, as you can tell, I didn't
Such
plan this
good
monologue.
You know way too
You
much
know a
about
lot.
this.
I didn't plan this monologue, but this is such a part of my childhood.
I feel like I'm watching
or
the podcast.
teenager years.
Yeah.
You are.
Wow. Go on.
You're in it.
Ah.
So We Didn't Do the Boo. They made this music video. Akiva comes out from behind the camera. Andy has his verse, and it's almost the three of them kind of introducing themselves and what they do. Akiva directs the Boo. I don't get recognized at screenings. I know every word to this song,
Oh my
actually.
God.
And so they do this whole music video, and I think then soon after, they're like, we need to end this fucking show. Then I became so into this. I showed all my friends. I thought this was the funniest thing that had
Jesus
ever been
Christ.
made. And so I found their website, and they had a bunch of other sketches. They had a failed pilot for Fox called Awesome Town that was a variety show of just them being silly little goofs.
Yeah.
And then 2003, 2004 comes around, and they get tapped to be on Saturday Night Live.
Yeesh.
They introduce digital shorts, which now has become a staple of SNL,
Yeah.
but at the time was brand new. YouTube was brand new. The idea of leveraging digital media in the comedy world was honestly still looked down upon. Their first, Andy was hired as talent on the show. The other two were hired as writers.
Wow.
And so their first hit, Lazy Sunday, shot out like a cannon, was one of the most viral videos of the year.
I think it was the first viral video. Is that
Wow.
like one of those?
Well, it was the
viral sketch or some shit like that.
it's the first viral sketch out of SNL, and it's certainly one of the first traditional media pieces that was designed to go viral. And then in the years that followed, I mean, Lonely Island became a household name. They have I'm on a Boat, Jack Sparrow,
Dick in a Box.
Dick in a Box, right?
Oh my God.
And their careers blew up. And it was kind of crazy for me as a fan to be like, no, they're mine.
Yeah.
You guys don't know.
Yeah. We didn't.
Yeah.
You showed us. We didn't.
And honestly, it's one of those things where because it belonged to everyone, then I stopped caring. I was like,
I knew
That's
them
wild.
before.
yeah. But what I think then, when you get to this movie, and we'll talk about in a second, is that Andy's star rose. He became, they were a trio. They were three childhood friends making videos together. But Andy made SNL. The other two made it as writers. And so that is very much reflected in this film. And honestly, I think Popstar is kind of a reflection of that journey. But I want to hear from you guys.
Yeah.
I just took over.
So growing up, I guess I didn't know anything about Lonely Island until
SNL.
until
Same.
Andy Samberg.
I think most people did
Yeah.
it. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was
What
insane.
that man
Normies.
just did.
Yeah, I know. I feel like a normie for sure. I definitely just got lured out of my mind.
But now I can go and pretend like I know. So thank you for that.
That was wild. But I remember I'm on a boat and that.
All right, it just made me laugh thinking about
you
it.
just laughed. I feel like you laughed and almost said poser a little bit.
No. What actually happened is that I burped from my LaCroix and I tried to hide it and then I coughed.
Got you. And so after Samberg got SNL, I remember going back and I was like, what is Lonely Island in the first place? Is this a group that they made on SNL? And I felt bad learning all of this stuff after the fact. And through watching Popstar, obviously, where I'm just like, oh, these were a group of friends that have been
Which
together
I
for a
feel
while.
like that was such a time
Yeah.
and a place
miss-
of where
It makes me
like
miss sketch groups.
comedy.
Yeah.
I did all the UCBs and the iOS and the Nerdist. Like I did all of that. And 9 times out of 10, you don't have that kind of magic with people that have your comedy that you can write for each other really well. I think we as comedy writers too, you don't really learn how to write for other people until you're in writing groups. And I feel like they had such a gift by being friends and like knowing each other's personalities, because anything Andy was in, you have to assume the other two were writing for him, right? Like partially, I'm assuming, on SNL.
So in the SNL days, absolutely. Yeah.
So when I saw this, I remember, I think we were at the butt feed at this point, but
for Popstar.
Yeah, for Popstar. And honestly, I had not really paid attention to them. I just knew them for their viral videos. And when I saw this, I thought it was fucking genius.
Yeah.
Like the people that they had, the mixed media they used, the impressions, the stories behind, like he's supposed to be Justin Bieber, Chris Redd is like this Tyler, the Creator. Like,
oh my God.
There were just so many pieces where you also knew that they were at their height of fame, to where they knew people like this, like they know this world, but they're chill dudes. Like they don't need to be they're a part of it without being it.
Yeah.
And so to see them, like the way Andy Samberg plays a Bieber, that he is the most unlikable character.
Of course.
But you have so much empathy for him. Somehow you are feeling bad for him.
There's a bit of like naivety of like naivete of like I'm look at how rich I am, but also I'm so stupid that I don't understand when people are like taking advantage of me or making fun of me or something.
Surrounded
like that.
by yes men. Like you could see how you automatically started to feel a little bit bad for hating on Justin Bieber as much as we all did.
A little bit. Whereas it's like, oh no, oh God, they're people. They're people. Fuck. Let's stop. We need to relax.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I've been trying lately to learn new things outside of my job, right? Have something that I'm getting better at just because it's fun to challenge yourself. Kids are always learning, always growing, and as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. Therapy can help you reconnect with that sense of wonder, because your back-to-school era can come at any age. I'm a big fan of therapy. I think it can help you with any goal setting you want to do, and it's really nice to have a time during the week to check in with yourself. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire and get matched with a licensed therapist, and switch therapists at any time for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/guiltypleasures today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/guiltypleasures.
Yes.
I think Andy Samberg's superpower is playing a 10-year-old who doesn't realize he's picking on their sibling. It's that kind of thing where like, oh, you're a dick, but it's because you're scared.
Yeah.
The little boys are mean, but it's because they're actually terrified and want their moms. And
God.
I think Andy plays that vulnerability in being cocky, in being arrogant, in being all of those things, but you can tell so well that he's masking pain, and then he does it all in a over-the-top, really silly, really goofy way.
And he went through a version of this, like blowing up on SNL. Like he actually really did go through like his version of celebrity, probably losing his friends in a way, like closeness, like getting projected into the spotlight, the job breaking up their trio. Right. So in a way, you do know that he's acting from a place of probably some reality.
Well, we talked about it. We alluded to it. Let's just get out of the way. This movie is obviously, first and foremost, a really fucking funny movie about the music industry, but it's also reflective of the three of them and their careers. They were a trio making really fun stuff together, and then one of them became a superstar. Andy Samberg became a household name in a way that Yarm and Akiva did not. And Akiva, who is in the movie world, he's the writer of the songs. He was the director, so no one recognized him.
Yeah.
But Jorma, also super talented director. So Akiva made Hot Rod, which is one of my favorite dumb movies ever.
Fucking good.
Jorma directed MacGruber, which might be the dumbest, funniest movie ever made.
Yeah.
And all of them so talented working together. And I imagine it was challenging to manage ego and friendship and jealousy. And what do you do when you are in a group, but one person is more successful or outwardly seen as more popular? Something that I had to deal with,
I don't
right?
know, Zach. Why don't you tell us what that must be like?
Would love to know.
Am I the Andy here?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Out of the three of us?
Yeah.
Because certainly
Obviously.
in the Try Guys, Eugene was our Andy, right? Like every group deals with that feeling. And first of all, no, the fuck I'm not. Garrick's on TV. You've got a million problems.
You have like 1 million, 2 million followers.
Yeah. Well, they're dwindling every day.
Public facing.
Yeah, very public facing. You can't go to a restaurant for real. I
can.
Okay.
No.
I don't think so.
No, I've been with you a lot of places.
Yeah,
and it's pretty impossible to go anywhere.
I'm not fighting this fight.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you shouldn't. You'll lose.
Yeah.
It's a good thing to lose. You know what I mean? Like, you've done a good job with your platform. I think that's the point.
Well, thanks. I appreciate it. But there's, I think, something, the growth as you get older and realizing that someone's success doesn't negate your own.
Right.
But then also realizing that, like, what I love about this movie is how the three of them find, like, oh, the thing that mattered was us creating together.
Yeah,
oh my God, kind of like us.
Yeah.
We all come here for the love of movies.
Yeah. It definitely, like, just putting a pin on that, I feel like this movie did. Also, what is putting a pin on it? Does that mean
putting a pin in it?
Put a pin in it?
You're going like, hold on, we're going to come right back to this.
No, I'm not coming right back to it. I am talking about.
You're
let's shine
closing the door.
Shining a light on this.
Oh, okay.
That point where it's just like, no, it definitely feels like the movie came from a very like specific period in there, because I never saw The Lonely Island really like break up at all. They were very much like a collective for like a long ass time, and they still hang out. They have a podcast together.
Oh, they do?
And so
let's go.
It's
invite us on.
Yeah. It definitely feels like something that they thought of immediately after Andy Samberg's like first like big thing.
Yeah, or I've always wondered, did
something happen?
Because Apatow produced this. Did they get a note from a studio that was like, we'd love a Lonely Island movie, but it should be the Andy, right?
Oh my
like
God.
they're the three of them going to pitch some ensemble, and the studio going.
Don't you feel like in a way though? Like, I think about, man, I wish I could have been around during that time where like everyone was doing groundlings, everyone was like underground comedy, but in a way we've done that. Because everyone knows everyone, right? But like we've done that with our own generation,
right?
Like with our own platform.
For sure.
It's like, I feel like we could each call somebody that is somewhere and be like, do you get this thing? Can you help me out? Pitch this, blah, 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 blah. Like, I used to always be so like, I don't know, I missed something with like the comedy wave. And I'm like,
yeah, but
we hasn't even fucking started with ours. Like,
you don't even understand like how many, or you're not going to see what you had until it's in the rear view. And like, hindsight is 20/20 and all that shit.
You don't realize you're already in the ocean.
You're already in the ocean. This is water.
Sometimes a career's like a wave. Sometimes you're up. Sometimes you're down. Guys, it's from the movie. Come on. Yeah. It's Tim Meadows quote.
I want to know, we should move away from the macro of this movie, which I obviously love and can talk about forever.
Yeah.
This is a really fucking funny movie.
It's so fucking funny.
I laughed out loud.
Giggling in my bed.
Times.
Yeah. Because they're I'm sorry.
I don't know why he said it like that. He went giggling in my bed.
Well, because I watched
but then he's dropped off.
Well, it was like I was watching, I was just kind of plus wanting, but then I did realize that's a weird thing to say. I was watching it in my bed while Maggie was folding laundry, and like usually when you're laying in bed watching a movie, you're just kind of like, but I was like, kicking my little feet. It's laugh out loud funny, and we failed. As a society, we failed this movie. And we failed comedies. We used to have big, stupid comedies. Not that this movie had a huge budget. It didn't. It was totally a respectable amount. But there used to be big comedies that were visual, that were wacky, that were funny, that were stupid. And this movie is meant to be watched with lots of people. It is laugh out loud funny and so stupid.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, to have a movie be so stupid and like widely agreed is good and funny, I feel like doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah.
Like you're just gonna have fucking haters, whether it's like a stand-up being like the Believers being like, oh, we didn't think this is funny, right? Like I don't feel like you can do this type of, because we failed to mention this is a mockumentary. The entire thing is like he's making a documentary of his career. and his second album, but I honestly don't think it needed it to be a mockumentary.
Yeah.
I kind of think a lot of times I forgot it was.
I liked the behind the music angle that it was kind of going for, which is, I mean, I don't know.
But don't you think they could have done that without even like doing it mockumentary style? Like, obviously, I think all the cameos were killer and so funny and surprised me every single time. Yeah. But I just felt like I was like, oh yeah, this is a mockumentary. I forgot.
Look at all the cool people we know.
It being a mockumentary did lead to what is one of my favorite dumb bits in any movie.
I already know what you're gonna say.
Bees?
Yes.
So you have one scene where Andy is with his manager, with Tim Meadows, his manager, and he's like, hey, cut the cameras. And so they cut the cameras and it goes to black, and you have the classic text on screen while they're talking. All of a sudden, one bee comes and they go, oh my God, I think it's attracted to your sunscreen. A swarm of bees come. Yeah. And you're getting this whole action scene only in text. We're like, oh my God, get the flamethrower.
So that's the queen bee, and then he goes, please tell me you got that camera guy. And he goes, you told us to quit filming. Yeah. Like, it's just so stupid and good.
Yeah.
That's what this movie does, though. Like the idea of improv and good comedy is yes-anding. It's heightening. It's heightening the scene. What's the most ridiculous version? This movie nails it every time. And at the beginning, I was like, oh God, is this going to get old? Nope.
It never did. Because it's one of those situations where it's like, okay, anytime that we feel ourselves getting too serious, let's throw in the silliest, dumbest thing that we possibly can.
Or give some of our talented friends, musicians, the best comedians that are working right now, a scene to do the dumbest thing imaginable. Let's have Bill Hader as a roadie who's dropping guitars, who also loves to flatline on the weekends, where he stops his heart to see death, and then we bring him back to life. What is that doing in this movie?
Emma Stone shows up for a couple scenes where every time a character came on, I went, was this during a break on an SNL day? That's all I could think about.
Well, what it shows is how much people love working with them. Because this is, they built up this decade of goodwill doing digital shorts. And clearly, like, you have Justin Timberlake, Emma Stone, Bill Hader,
Usher,
Mariah
fucking Carey.
Carey,
who does
multiple scenes.
Nothing these days. She would never cameo with anyone ever.
Because she's chilling the entire time.
She does not need to do anything ever. And she lifted a finger twice in this movie.
See if I can pull up every single. So Sarah Silverman, Maya Rudolph, right? That's the cast. But then we have Will Arnett.
Oh my God, Chelsea Peretti,
Adam Levine in a quick scene.
Gotta have Chelsea Peretti.
Harry Underwood, Mike Birbiglia,
Eric
Weird
Andre.
Al, Chelsea Peretti. You said Paul Scheer, Joanna Newsom is in it. His wife, Eric Andre, Kevin Nealon. Like, it goes on and
comedy legends.
It just goes on and on and on. Also, shout out to James Buckley from The Inbetweeners. He's one of the groupies. It's just, I'm excited to see him. I was looking this up before, and then we started talking about something else. So I wonder if you know how badly this movie bombed.
I don't want to hear, honestly. Because, like, this movie bombing almost ushered in the wave of studios saying no. to comedies.
And it also makes everyone look fucking lame who didn't like it.
Yeah.
Because how do you not like it makes you not get comedy. You're not a comedy person.
I don't even think it's like a bombing in the sense of, oh, we hated this movie, so we're not going to go out to see it. It's almost, I don't even know what was going on.
Did they just not even know, like, Lonely Island? Did they not know SNL?
There was this. Just didn't. Yeah, they didn't know how to market it, how to absorb like comedy at that point in time.
Comedy has just been on this downward trend from after the mid 2000s, and so you had the peak of the Apatow wave, right? So 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, Superbad, all great hits. Then he follows it up with Sarah Marshall years later. You also have, like, if you think about other big hits during the 2000s, Hangover, you got a whole trilogy out of that. Comedies were big, but by the time you get here, something changed.
Yeah.
And it's almost like we had an election that year. A pretty big one.
Yeah, like everyone was like, we can't laugh anymore.
Yeah.
Life
this was
funny.
Before that, wasn't
this
it?
Was
2015.
It was 2016. So it must have been made earlier.
Yeah.
So this movie had a $20 million budget, which is
conservative,
pretty small for a movie, especially when you see like
that celebrity,
all those celebrities, the way that they're filming in arenas, all that stuff. It was produced by Judd Apatow, starring breakout stars from SNL, The Lonely Island. This with all of those cameos, it had the pedigree to be a hit. It made domestic under $10 million.
Wow.
International made $40,000.
$40,000?
That proves my point, right?
Yeah.
Like
this
that
has
people didn't know who Lonely Island was across the world. They were like,
under
why would we
$10
care?
million worldwide. And that is, so it's over under half this budget.
This is why we make this podcast, is to give the attention due where people should go back and give this a chance.
Yeah.
It felt crazy to me when we suggested this, because I'm like, what are you talking about? That's
I
like,
thought we were doing it as one of our big good
ones.
ones.
Here goes a good movie. Yeah, and everybody's
people
of course.
hate it?
Right. No, I don't think so.
No, people don't hate it. They just didn't see it.
They just didn't watch
or
it.
they didn't see it in theaters,
You're
especially.
so fucking right. It was totally Donald Trump.
Yeah, everybody's like losing their fucking minds.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know what.
No one had time to be like, a good time.
Yeah.
I will say, for the record, the two movies before this also bombed.
Which ones?
Hot Rod and MacGruber, which are two of the best comedies you will ever.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think they smash this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're so much funnier.
It's way funnier because it's less of a like story and plot driven thing. It's just like, let's just be silly.
Crazy to me is that this one put all the pieces together. Hot Rod is a stupid movie. MacGruber is a stupider movie.
Yeah.
What's MacGruber about?
Do you know the SNL sketch that's like, MacGruber, we have 5 minutes to defuse the bomb?
Yes.
It's Will
MacGyver,
Forte as a really, really
Like an
bad
archer.
crime fighter. It is unbelievable. The climax of that movie features him doing a move called celery butt. You have...
Did Lorne Michaels produce any of these?
Yeah.
But all of them?
I don't know if he did this one.
Isn't he like contractually obliged?
He has his hand in the kitty.
Yeah, he got a cut no matter what.
But this movie took all of their silly, stupid comedy, put it together with, I think, a really broad and easy to enter, premise. This is something that I get that. That sounds funny. It's a comedy about Bieber. I'm in. It has all the cameos. It has all the pieces. And if a movie like this can't succeed, then what comedy can?
Golly. Has there been
Sorry to bum you out.
recently that, yeah, you really did. Has there been a good comedy recently that anyone's been like,
Bottoms.
that made me LOL? Because
Bottoms.
this made me,
Bottoms made me like my stomach hurt.
But it didn't make money.
But it didn't make money.
And it was stupid.
Yeah.
It was like a stupid comedy.
Yeah. Shut up, nerd. I fucked your mom. So good.
Bottoms is great. Go watch
So
Bottoms.
good.
Yeah.
Other pleasures to talk about. I love that this movie does give a showcase to Yorma and Akiva. While this is Andy's movie and he is so good and so stupid as Connor for real.
Okay, so I think that's what it was, where watching this, I didn't know who Yorma and Akiva were, because honestly, watching the Lonely Island shorts on YouTube,
You don't know.
You don't know.
They're,
You're like, oh,
always
this is his homie.
Yorma's
this is
in
somebody.
Jizz in My Pants.
Yeah.
But that's basically it. And then he was on Girls. He started to have a little bit of an acting career. But mostly was behind the scenes.
Right. And it always kind of felt like, oh, these are the guys that help him, right? These are the people that push the machine
he brought
forward.
Them up.
Yeah, and it like seeing them in this movie, you're like, oh, they're truly like geniuses in their own right, and we should have put them on SNL as well in a little bit of a way. But like, I'm sorry, but also going back to the marketing of it, I remember seeing these billboards and not really remembering, not knowing what any of this was.
Yeah.
You see Pop Star, and I was just like, oh.
Why would I see that?
Oh, no, just like what is it?
Yeah.
It's just him doing like prayer hands. I was like, oh, it's a riff on Justin Bieber, but then also you get like a bit of the SNL mocking a commercial, mocking a person type of vibe. And so I'm like, oh, I guess this movie is a new thing for a new like digital short that they're coming out with, that they're just advertising so that people can just like watch it online.
It was a movie.
I really didn't know if it was a movie or not.
I thought they also did like a really good, this brought me back to 2015 like trends and pop culture moments. They just did a really good job of incorporating stuff that made you go like, oh fuck, like that was a thing. Like that's crazy. It was really funny. Like the moment of them putting the DJ helmet on, which one was it? To hide his face. You were just like, oh yeah, that was, we still are like Marshmallow, but this is the origin story of how wrong and stupid that could have been. And like, who are the yes men behind the scenes being like, creating the trends and moments that we remember in pop culture. Even just like the wolf scene of him during the proposal. I'm like, why is that something I could totally fucking see on E or like on a Daily Mail article or whatever? Like they just did a really funny job of blowing things up that were really good at that era.
If we're talking about Lonely Island and we're talking about this movie, I think we should talk about the music for a little bit.
Oh, please.
Because I think this is some of Lonely Island's best songs.
It's so funny.
I obviously Jizz in My Pants and Dick in a Box. Like they have I'm on a Boat still gets played at every douchey frat party you can imagine. But there might not be anything funnier than Finest Girl (parentheses Bin Laden) song.
Jesus.
It is the...
Give us some lines.
Yeah, please.
It is basically... Finest girl I ever met in my whole life, wanted me to take her home, make her my wife. He continues, she said she wanted me to fuck her harder than the military. Fucked Bin Laden. And then it's the chorus is, fucked Bin Laden.
Oh my God.
Fuck Bin Laden. It's so, and then the performance, she kind of starts as just generic hot girl dancing on stage, and by the end is fully dressed in Bin Laden cosplay doing a hot dance.
Yeah.
The line that makes me laugh harder than anything, if I have it here, you're harboring a fugitive, dead ass, and my justice will be punitive. I'm a smash.
I've been saying that all day.
Oh my
You've
God.
been harboring a fugitive, dead ass. So good. They got some good one-liners.
There's also the Equality song where he is singing.
Not gay.
Yeah, he's singing.
Not gay.
For it reminded me of a Macklemore song.
Yeah, 100%.
He's saying that in favor of marriage equality, but then reminding you increasingly through the song that he's not gay.
By telling you about manly things.
And then the great reveal by the end of it.
It's the Macklemore song where he's just like, my friend told me I was gay.
Yeah. When I was in the 8th grade, they told me I was gay because I wear my hair straight or whatever.
Because I know how to draw or some shit. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's a real lyric?
I think so.
Do you not know? Yes, of course you know the Macklemore song.
I don't remember it.
Bitch, yes, you fucking do. When I was in the 8th grade, they told me I was gay because I like to draw and wear my hair straight. Fucking, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course I know what you're talking about.
What's the chorus?
I have no idea.
Not gay.
I don't listen to that. Yeah, it's probably not gay. Please continue.
Oh, it's just so, and then.
Da, 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 da. Oh my God, I'm gonna go crazy.
You have a phone, Kelsey.
Yeah.
But I was trying to be smart. I'm gonna look.
Oh yeah, I can't change even if I try.
And I can't change even if I wanted to.
It's called Same Love.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
that
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so good. I mean, the whole song is such a one joke that is, as you said before, heightened, getting dumb. Like at first it's subtle, I'm not gay. And then by the end, he's just singing about like missiles and football and beer and twins. And then bested by the better twist, the heightening of all heightening, cut to Ringo Starr saying, marriage equality is already legal everywhere. This isn't an issue.
So, but the fact that they had Paul motherfucking McCartney and Ringo Starr.
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's so funny. And what was the first song that they the Donkey Roll?
The Donkey Roll is their iconic dance.
Yeah, which you're like waiting the whole movie. You're like, oh, I can't wait to see this fucking Donkey Roll. And it's as stupid as it sounds.
What I loved too is that, so they had all these cameos of all these great musicians talking about the influence that Style Boys had on them.
Yeah.
But then you see who they used more of. And I'm just like, oh, okay, they had a couple DJ Khaled, like they had A$AP Rocky at the end. Oh, Nas is just hilarious.
Yeah.
Because Nas is used so much in this movie.
You really get to see like the comedic chops of people you don't normally get to see.
Right.
And like, I know Questlove can deliver a good line.
Yeah.
But the fact that Nas, who is not the most famous person in this movie,
No.
I do not want to disrespect the name. He's one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Yeah.
But to see him get so much airtime,
Yes,
I'm
was
like, oh, let's
so
go.
funny.
Yeah, because he's hilarious.
And you know he was
so
down.
earned.
They were
Yeah.
like, we just want to grab some like extra like riffing on these bits, and he probably just crushed it. And they were like,
Yeah, can we just
Nas?
do more?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also, between this and Dave, I'm realizing that Usher just must be so into comedy
Yes.
and so delightful.
Yes.
He was
yes.
I loved that all the celebrities were also very down.
Yes.
Mhm.
Like Usher being like, my dream is to perform with them on stage. And
Yeah.
then he gets off at the end and it's like, I did it. Like, that's it.
You have a
I
shot
did it.
of Usher,
Like,
Usher
yes.
running off stage
Yeah.
being like, style boy.
Yes.
I did it, donkey roll.
Oh, so good.
So good and so down, especially because Usher discovered Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
You know that
I feel
he
like an
was,
idiot. I did not make
oh
that
my God, the whole time I was
Yeah.
like,
It is cool.
I can't believe he's in this.
I feel like the biggest fucking idiot.
Is
I
it
did
kind
not
of even
make
funnier
that,
that,
connection.
he's like down to play like
Yeah,
that?
that's so
Yeah.
good.
I hope they're friends.
I hope so too, and I think that they're all too rich to be offended by much.
No,
to be
yeah.
honest.
Oh, you kidding? Justin Bieber probably thought this was fucking
yeah, the funniest shit of all
hysterical.
time.
Or he's livid.
Or he's livid, but you
I
can't
think he's
be.
livid.
I don't know. Wait, based off of that one music video, what's the one? The Drake one? No.
There's a song with Justin Bieber and Drake.
There's a song where Justin Bieber is in the music video rapping along to Drake's Pop Star, I think.
We all have phones, but we
Yeah.
don't.
Well,
wanna
based
use
on
them.
that, what?
You think
Based
he's
on
lame?
that, he has. I do feel like he has a bit of a sense of humor because he's just rapping along to. He's like pretending. Drake in the song is rapping about how he wants to be like an actual pop star and all that stuff, and it just makes me think that Justin Bieber agreeing to do this music video
makes him cool,
makes him cooler.
makes him down.
Yeah,
In a just world, this would have been a huge hit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And in that world, I think Chris Redd's star would have
Oh my God.
skyrocketed.
Isn't it so weird he did butt feed videos with us?
What?
Did he?
Yeah.
What?
I was in a few of them because I was always with Reinecker.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
I know Chris Redd is good friends with friends of ours,
Yeah.
but I didn't know he did BuzzFeed videos. Where the fuck?
Yeah.
What?
oh.
Yeah.
When?
Big Lots. And Siren Studios.
That is kind of melting my brain, and you need to show me a video after this
All
because
right.
that's
wild.
crazy.
Yeah,
He is a Tyler the Creator riff.
so good. Hunter the
something.
the hunted or something
Yeah.
like that.
He's a maniac.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it.
A menace.
So funny in this movie
Yeah.
with his trademark huge eyes.
Yeah.
I have nothing
My favorite
funny to
bit
say other
is
than
that
he's
like
great.
you get the Andy Samberg moment of him tucking his dick into his butt, and so it looks like he has a mangina. And Chris Redd is like, man, only the best prankster alive could ever pull that off. Whoever did that to you must be the smartest, most funny man. Maybe. And he's like, wait, man, are you saying you did this? And he's like, nah. Or did I?
I did.
Nah, I didn't. I
Unless
did.
Unless I
Not
did.
do it.
And he's just going back. And he
movie.
keeps going
You
back.
know that it was
Yeah.
just them riffing and doing
Yeah.
dumb shit the same way that like the Maya Rudolph bit, was just improv. The
Yeah.
same way you know that the Chelsea Peretti, Eric Andre, what's his nuts, white
For
tall
Big Leo.
guy. Yeah, was
Will Arnett.
yeah.
Quick hit of some of my favorite jokes. 10 seconds? That's like a third of the way to Mars. Connor, we talked about this. That's a band
30
name, not a
seconds to
scientific
Mars.
fact.
So good.
I'm sorry.
I laughed out loud at that one.
Oh my God. It's a perfect movie.
Tim Meadows is always funny.
Yeah.
I just am always happy to see
Yeah.
him
I hope
kill
the
it.
Tony see this and they regret everything. What does he say? And they're fucking pissed.
Oh my
like so
God.
good. The delivery.
He's such a good straight man.
Comedic mastermind.
Yeah.
The last thing here for me is that the end of this movie did genuinely, and I feel dumb saying this, but it genuinely changed the way I think about my working relationship with people.
Wow.
Really?
Like this, so I said that this movie, like, I find very touching. It's about
Yeah.
a group. One of them got super famous, and then they had to figure out how to reconcile their friendship, their creativity, their egos, all of those things. And so for a long time, while we were making the Try Guys, there was this sense of, where is my personal identity within the group identity? Do I need to set myself apart? And do I need to let people know, oh, if you like that, the way that Akiva's character said, I wrote that rap, I deserve credit. Do I need people to know, oh, you like that video? Because I actually edited it. And so if you think it's funny, it's because I'm talented.
And you like me.
And all of those things, right? And then also those fears of what happens if we don't work together?
Yeah.
And what happens if our lives take us different places? And they have a speech at the end that I think is great that they make then dumber, which is, we'll always be the Wu-Tang Clan.
But better.
Yeah.
As soon as I said it, it sounded wrong.
Is that you're RZA, but we're still Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
And you're Jizza, but we're still Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
And you can be Method Man, but we're still Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah.
And that idea that when you are in a group, that doesn't mean that you have to stop doing other things, but you get to then celebrate that with your group. You get to bring that energy back to your group.
Wow.
And that when you come together, it's special. And when you come together to do those moments, it is Wu-Tang Clan, and that your success in your life doesn't need to be in conflict with it or in spite of it or any of those things, that you can be Wu-Tang forever.
Oh my God, wait, we have to tell the guilty horse that I saw Tyrese in person.
What?
You did? You might have been on your honeymoon.
Yeah.
I saw him at the AMC movie theater.
I should
took
try and
pictures. She took
politely
pictures.
tell you guys that I was on my honeymoon as a way to be like, hey, maybe stop texting me on this thread.
Oh, absolutely not. You think we're
yeah.
going to stop dropping memes and funny bits in the group chat? Fuck all the way off. I could be like in the hospital and I'd be worried if I didn't hear from you idiots at least multiple times a day.
I'd be like, I'll just put this one on mute for a little bit.
Whenever it gets quiet in there, I do worry.
It's like, are they both dead?
Are you okay?
So wait, you saw Tyrese fresh off
Yes.
of being court ordered to pay $75,000 a year in child support.
Oh my God. He
Yeah.
was with a baddie too. Like,
That's
she
probably
was,
why he was crying when you saw him. That's why he was crying so
he
much
was
in the
like
picture.
late to his own premiere at the
God.
Grove in the AMC. And before we went into our movie, which was not his, I didn't even know he had a movie out, but it looks dope. And he's a great actor.
He
And
is.
I'm glad he's getting his flowers. For,
I do
like,
think
drama.
that he's underused in the
Yeah.
Fast and Furious
Yeah.
franchise. Anyway,
We stand.
But so before we went into our movie, we saw security. Like, I literally thought, like, is Obama here? Like, why are like they were fucking talking in their
Tyrese
little...
had Secret Service
Bro,
level.
a lot. And so we were coming out and there was nobody there because it was like 9:30 on a Tuesday as he and his posse was coming in. And I was just, and Athlete was like, what are you looking at? Like, who is he? I was like, you're from fucking Canada. You don't even know who this man is. And we just kind of sat for like 5 minutes and watched him do his thing. And he was so fucking nice to people. Like people were jumping in to get pictures that weren't like a part of it. He was very friendly. A plus, Tyrese.
very cool.
Yeah, ready for some fun facts?
That's fucking good.
Facts with facts back.
So we have so many huge crowd shots.
Yeah.
Any guesses where they got that footage?
MTV Movie Awards, an Usher concert. That's all I can think of.
Stock footage?
One Direction.
What?
Wow.
The large crowds were footage from One Direction concerts.
They just
And
borrowed it, or
yeah, what happened? Were they shooting a documentary? And they were just like, can we just have this?
I guess, yeah, I don't know. Hey, that's as
Again,
much,
they're
that's
all
as much as
friends.
IMDb
Yeah.
will tell me.
That's
they're all
cool.
friends. They probably just called Harry up and were like, bruh.
I did assume, but the producer at the end of the film, who Akiva has a crazy makeout session with, which is so good because they're making out, and like it's during Connor's ending monologue, and then he's commenting on what he's like, "Whoa, look at him making out! That's crazy!"
Yeah.
That is Akiva's real life wife.
Yeah.
I thought so because I was like, that would be too weird to just stick in there.
It's aggressive.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay, so obviously, Connor for me is Connor for real?
Yeah.
Yeah. Connor. It says.
Oh, yeah.
I just read what's written.
Yeah.
Connor for real is loosely based on Bieber. So let's dive into the similarities. Connor has his turtle, his only true best friend, while Bieber had a monkey. No way he had a fucking monkey.
Yeah, he had a monkey.
That sucks.
Yeah. Especially if you watched Chimp Crazy lately. We got to talk about that later.
There
watching Chimp
is
Crazy?
an Anne Frank reference in the movie
Yep.
where
Did you take a shit in Anne Frank's house?
Bieber had a controversy in the Anne Frank house by claiming, oh my God, I forgot
Yeah,
about
then
this.
she would have been a believer.
That is one of the funniest things a person has ever
That's
done.
how
I
you
think
knew they weren't
it's-
even trying to hide it.
Yeah, I think I feel bad for Bieber in that moment because he's just a dumb kid at that time. Yeah. And he was just like, I would have hoped that she would have liked my music. And it just came out wrong.
And then, of course, the Justin Bieber documentary, Never Say Never, which is where we got this subtitle, Never Stop, Never Stopping.
That's so funny. So they did a good job.
I think we covered most of the cameos, but all the musicians, so many who had done songs with The Lonely Island, either on SNL or on their album. So you've got Michael Bolton, Justin Timberlake, Akon, Adam Levine, Pharrell Williams, and Snoop Dogg.
Where was T-Pain?
Yeah, T-Pain must have been. He was busy. Yeah.
Twitching.
Yeah.
And then I didn't make this connection, but the Connor put his album in people's appliances, causing public outcry. Like You Too.
And Bono was in it for a quick second.
Was Bono in it?
He had like a line. Didn't he? Did I make that up? I'm pretty sure old white guy with glasses.
Are you thinking of Ringo?
No.
Oh.
I might be thinking of Ringo.
You might be thinking of Ringo. I swear to God, I thought he was in it for a second. My bad.
Now it's time for us to decide, is this movie a pleasure, a guilty pleasure, or just plain guilty?
Come on.
Insane. I think this is like the hardest piece I can give, in that I want more people to see this movie. I need more people to see this movie so that they can remember what true comedic genius actually looks like, and what like innovation actually kind of look like. In that, although I understand that the mockumentary format has gone, it's, you know, has become very, you know, not very popular, but popular in general. This was still the punchline writing and the silliness and the goofiness and the weighing the differences between heart and the I guess the humor of it all.
Yeah.
It just feels really good. I'm like rambling. I'm losing the plot a little bit.
It's because you're passionate.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much.
I just want people to watch it so they'll fucking laugh. Like,
I just want people to laugh.
Just have a fucking good time. Stop. You don't need to be a critic. You don't need to like focus on politics about it. Just enjoy it and have a good old laugh.
Yeah.
I'm giving this a full GP because it is, I think, in its essence, a guilty, like it is purposefully a guilty pleasure because it's so bad that it's good that it's so bad. We went full circle.
I don't even think I don't see a flaw, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it's guilty in that it is unapologetically stupid. It's by design meant to be, right?
Yeah.
This movie is very pleasurable. You know, anyone that, like, if you look at Anyone But You, no. Not to let Glenn Powell catch strays, but this is what a real comedy looks like. Yeah. And I don't think this is the best comedy ever made. I don't even think this is the best comedy The Lonely Island has ever made. Yeah. But this is a great fucking movie. And unfortunately, by society, society letting
Trump ruined.
Society letting this movie fail, I think, was one of the final nails in the Hollywood comedy coffin.
Yeah.
And it is, I think about what we could have, what could have been before comedy was then pushed and relegated to just TV. Yeah. This is as fun as a movie can be. It is big. It is stupid. It is joy and is meant to be watched with lots of people. This movie is pleasure as pleasure gets.
PP. Yeah. If you liked the other two, also, this is that movie. This movie is for you.
Yeah, like if you liked anything Lonely Island did, you're gonna like this movie.
And this is what really makes me mad about it is that it's not like there's still tons of great comedy.
Yeah. Right.
There's lots of great comedy all over the world, but a movie like this is meant to be seen big and loud with lots of people because the energy you get from screams and laughs and people giggling next to you. The scene where they're in the limousine and a fan is like shoving her heavy naturals against the window. And then he's like going to sign it. And while he's looking away, someone rubs his dick against the window and he rolls down the window and the dick's going, and then his
whose dick was that? I need to know.
It's gotta be a prosthetic, right?
No way.
That was a dick.
That is a real dick.
That was a dick. And
I took a long, hard look.
Okay.
A scene like that is meant to be enjoyed with people screaming around
stupid.
you.
Yeah.
That's the movies.
Amen.
I truly, Andy Samberg signing a dick with a Sharpie, That is what the movies are all about.
Yes.
Great way to sign off.
I'm at Corn Diddy on all the things.
I'm Kelsey Darragh on all the things.
I'm Garrick Bernard on all the things.
And until next time, deadass!